Welcome to the You Are Loved meditation. Let's begin by getting into a comfortable position. Maybe you want to sit or lie down. Close your eyes and take a moment to find some stillness. Now place your hand over your heart. Feel its beat. Allow your breathing to slow and find a natural, steady pace. In ancient Hebrew culture, they believed that you know with your heart. Your heart is where you understand and make connections. Keep your hand over your heart a moment longer. Feel it working to bring life to every part of who you are. Take a deep breath in and exhale slowly. Now you can rest your palms in your lap or beside you if you're lying down. Let's listen to the words of David in Psalm 139 as he recognizes just how loved he is by God. Lord, you know everything there is to know about me. You perceive every movement of my heart and soul, and you understand my every thought before it even enters my mind. You are so intimately aware of me, Lord. You read my heart like an open book, and you know all the words I'm about to speak before I even start a sentence. You know every step I'll take before my journey even begins. You've gone into my future to prepare the way, and in kindness you follow behind me to spare me from the harm of my past. You have laid your hand on me. This is just too wonderful, too deep and incomprehensible. Your understanding of me brings me wonder and strength. Where could I go from your spirit? Where could I run and hide from your face? If I go up to heaven, you're there. If I go down to the realm of the dead, you're there too. If I fly with wings into the shining dawn, you're there. If I fly into the radiant sunset, you're there waiting. Wherever I go, your hand will guide me. Your strength will empower me. It's impossible to disappear from you or to ask the darkness to hide me, for your presence is everywhere, bringing light into my night. There is no such thing as darkness with you. The night to you is as bright as day. There's no difference between the two. You formed my innermost being, shaping my delicate inside and my intricate outside, and wove them all together in my mother's womb. I thank you, God, for making me so mysteriously complex. Everything you do is marvelously breathtaking. It simply amazes me to think about it. How thoroughly you know me, Lord. You formed every bone in my body when you created me in the secret place. Carefully, skillfully, you shaped me from nothing to something. You saw who you created me to be before I became me, before I'd ever even seen the light of day. The number of days you planned for me were already recorded in your book. Every single moment you are thinking of me. How precious and wonderful to consider that you cherish me constantly in your every thought. Oh God, your desires toward me are more than the grains of sand on every shore. When I awake each morning, you're still with me. God, I invite your searching gaze into my heart. Examine me through and through. Find out everything that may be hidden within me. Put me to the test and sift through all my anxious cares. See if there is any path of pain I'm walking on, and lead me back to your glorious everlasting way, the path that brings me back to you. Let's place our hand over our heart again. David knew the Lord perceived every movement of his heart and soul. God reads your heart like an open book. He formed your innermost being, shaping your delicate inside and your intricate outside. The Lord formed every bone in your body when He created you in the secret place. Carefully, skillfully, He shaped you from nothing to something. Maybe you've felt like nothing lately. Maybe it seems like you're invisible, or not worth anyone's time, not worth anyone's attention, not worth anyone's love. But David knew that wasn't true. He knew the Lord is so intimately aware of you. Every single moment, God is thinking of you. How precious and wonderful to consider that the Lord cherishes you constantly in His every thought. Even in the moments when you would rather be unseen, when you would rather run away and hide, when you would rather not get out of bed and face the day, when you feel as though you can't go on. Even in those tender moments, David reminds us there is nowhere that you could run and hide from the Lord's face. Anywhere you try to go, the Lord is there, and He's been waiting for you. He's ready to empower you and guide you. It's impossible to disappear from the Lord. Even in the dark, God's presence will bring light to your darkest night. I know your heart feels fragile and torn. Maybe it's been beaten up and crumpled like trash. But that fluttering heart in your chest, God made that. The Lord created that space in the center of who you are. It's where He wants to live. There have been hard days where you did all that you could to gain the love of others, but nothing worked. They returned your efforts with suffering, maybe violence. David knew of suffering. He knew of betrayal and loneliness, despair. But he also realized the Lord has gone into your future to prepare the way, and in kindness, God follows behind you to spare you from the harm of your past. Let's take a deep breath in and be grateful that God has not only prepared a future for you, but He has hemmed you in from behind. He cleans up what has already happened so that your past can't disqualify your present. God has laid His hand upon you. He saw who He created you to be before you became you. One last time, place your hand on your heart and have faith that God's hand is there too. His hand is upon you, and His love for you is infinite. At the end of Psalm 31, David asks the Lord, "See if there is any path of pain I'm walking on, and lead me back to your glorious everlasting way, the path that brings me back to you." Maybe you chose the path of pain. Maybe it feels like the path of pain is the only walk you've ever known. Today, right now, you can choose a new path. The one God created for you from the beginning. It's the path that brings you back to Him. The path that brings your heart back to the Lord, the one who created it for Himself. Your heart is a sacred place, and it is a holy space, a temple for the Lord. He prepared an everlasting path for your heart to travel toward Him over and over again. Let Him guide your heart there today, and know that you are cherished, protected, and loved.